ahead on DC News Now at 4, the Trump administration is setting the stage for mass layoffs of government workers.
We're going to speed up the process.
The new memo from the White House. Plus another near miss at DCA just a month after the deadly crash.
That's not unusual there because it's such a busy place.
We'll have more from a former pilot on the state of flying right now. Then cuts to childcare, the warning for parents in the district.
We're enjoying another warm and sunny day today, but rain is on the way for Thursday. We'll time out when some of this wet weather will roll through.
And after more than a century, a local business is closing its doors for good.
It is the end of an era.
How customers in Falls Church are feeling.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
And thanks for joining us for DC News Now at 4. I'm Mark Hall.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Elisa Gale. Well, new this afternoon, the Trump administration is setting the stage for more widespread federal layoffs. That's according to a new memo directing federal agencies to develop a plan for eliminating those positions.
Uncertainty remains, Annalisa. DC News Now's Mariel Carbone is live on Capitol Hill with the latest. Mariel, what else are you learning about the potential changes ahead?
Well, Mark, this is different from what we've been seeing where these efforts have really targeted probationary employees. This time it could really apply to any positions or employees that the agency sees fit, including career officials. This all as the Trump administration continues to shrink the federal government.
The fact that they're just mass firing anyone that they can get their hands on is really not serving the American people.
Just one day after fired federal workers pled their case at the Capitol, federal agencies are bracing for even more cuts.
Our goal is not to be capricious or unfair.
In a memo sent by the Office of Management and Budget and the Office of Personnel Management, agencies were directed to develop a plan to eliminate employee positions, reducing the workforce. The memo stating the federal government is costly, inefficient, and deeply in debt. At the same time, it is not producing results for the American public. Agencies have until March 13th to submit their plans. Guidance includes eliminating non-statutorily mandated functions, removing underperforming employees, and reducing headcount through attrition.
We wish to keep everyone who is doing a job that is essential.
Elon Musk, who is behind DOGE, or the Department of Government Efficiency, defending the cuts during the president's first cabinet meeting Wednesday.
The job is not essential, or they're not doing the job well. They obviously should not be on the public payroll.
There is no doubt that this administration is going after federal employees.
The target of federal workers by DOGE is causing a rift with federal unions. NFFE President Randy Irwin telling DC News Now Monday that Musk is trying to intimidate employees.
And they don't want to just be bullied out of their jobs. They need those jobs to provide for their families.
And Mark and Annalisa, we know that there's been a big uptick in appeals filed with the U.S. Merit Systems Protections Board. That is a board that helps protect federal employees. In fact, just last week, more than 1,800 appeals were filed. That's nearly 50% of all of the appeals filed over the last 5 months. Reporting from Capitol Hill, I'm Mariel Carbone, DC News Now.
All right, Mariel, thank you. And still to come, we'll hear more of what came out of today's White House cabinet meeting in a full report at 4:30.
Meanwhile, the Trump administration must release millions of dollars in foreign aid by tomorrow night, according to a federal judge's orders. That USAID funding has been on hold as the Trump administration tries to dismantle the agency. We're also learning fired USAID employees were told that they had just 15 minutes to collect their belongings. One former worker tells DC News Now that will happen Thursday, and a majority of staff are on administrative leave.
And impacts of the recent layoffs can also be felt in Montgomery County, Maryland. County Executive Mark Elrich reacting to the layoffs during his weekly press briefings. Elrich says hundreds of companies who support the government locally have now been impacted. He says cuts to the federal government is trickling down to the private sector as well.
When you lose federal jobs in many of these agencies, you lose jobs in the supporting industries, many of which are in the county, D.C. and Northern Virginia, and the Prince George's County, where people do work to support the work of an agency like NIH or FDA. So cuts to the federal government mean cuts to the private sector as well.
And Elridge says services will be provided to those impacted, but also says he's unsure if there will be enough for everyone.
And we're going to continue to follow the uncertainty for thousands of federal workers, and you can find the latest on what's happening anytime on our website, dcnewsnow.com.
4:05, meteorologist Damon Matson joining us now.
It is nice out there, Damon. Let's just keep it going.
Hey, why not? I mean, this has been the trend all week. We might as well finish things out the next 2 days if we can, right? And yeah, here today, all those ingredients lined up. Yes, Mother Nature did remind us this morning that it is still late February. We woke up to the 20s and 30s, but plenty of sunshine, dry, quiet conditions have led to another afternoon in the 60s, primarily along the Chesapeake Bay and out toward the mountains of western Maryland. You're still finding a few 50s, but for the most part, many of us jumped up above that. D.C. is at 63, but just an hour ago, we did spike up to 68. Fredericksburg, 69, almost hitting that 70-degree mark in parts of Northern Virginia. What another beautiful spring-like day. Now, we've still had plenty of sunshine. We are not seeing any change to that across most of the DMV at this hour, but we are starting to notice a little bit of cloud cover up toward the Pennsylvania-Maryland line. Even a few sprinkles that are just missing entering into Maryland there in southern Pennsylvania. And that is the next storm system that is going to be knocking on the door and bringing us some unsettled weather tomorrow. Now, the good news is we are not going to see any rainfall here this evening. We will notice, though, that cloud cover gradually increasing, but that'll keep temperatures warm as we head into the night. Now, when should we expect that wet weather to arrive? On Thursday? We'll have your full forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. In the district, the Highway Safety Office launching the first 2 safety corridors today. It's all part of a new initiative aimed at reducing traffic crashes. Well, the 2 corridors are New York Avenue Northeast from Bladensburg Road to 14th Street and South Capitol Street Southwest from Southern Avenue to MLK Jr. Avenue. Over the next 60 days, both corridors will see an increase in enforcement by MPD, including traffic stops and tickets.
We have to make the roadway safe for everybody. I think someone's actions are not only a danger, put themselves in danger, but put everybody else in danger, whether it be pedestrians, whether it be other drivers, other people using the roadways. They should be able to traverse the city safely.
Officials say more than 1,000 crashes have occurred on the 2 corridors since 2022.
Well, developing now, hundreds of families in D.C. could lose free childcare due to potential budget cuts. Childcare providers are warning parents that funding for a program in the district is uncertain this afternoon. D.C. News Now's Liberty Simmons joining us live from Tenleytown with how parents are reacting. Good afternoon, Liberty.
Well, parents here are very upset that their child may not have a pre-K program to attend this next school year, and now they're being told to apply for a DC school lottery.
It's a huge disappointment. I think that a lot of families, young families, stay in the district specifically for that program.
Chelsea Hansen is one of the many parents with children who depend on the district's free pre-K education, but is now in danger of losing it.
It would be terrible. It would be a big disruption.
The Office of State Superintendent says it cannot confirm funding for PKEEP for fiscal year 2026. According to emails from Communikids and Child Care Advocacy Group Under 3DC, the district plans to phase out the pre-K program by 2027.
Most of our 244 families live in Ward 3 here in DC, and most public schools in Ward 3 are already at capacity. So what this means to them is that many of these families will struggle to find a pre-K placement.
OSSE is now urging parents to apply by March 3rd for the My DC School Lottery for pre-K 3 through 12th grade seats in public and charter schools.
And these will leave them scrambling.
OSSE released a statement saying in part funding levels for the PKEEP program for school year 2025-2026 are set in the district's annual budget for FY26, which will not be finalized until June of this year. And OSSE also says that submitting for the lottery will not affect your child's ability to enroll in a PKEEP program should funding become available. For now, in Tenleytown, Liberty Simmons, DC News Now.
All right, Liberty, thank you. Warning for our next story. Some details can be found disturbing. A crime alert in Montgomery County. Rockville man facing charges for sexually assaulting a child. We're showing his mugshot because police are concerned about other victims. Police believe that Wilmer Alvarado Gomez raped a child last Thursday. It allegedly happened in an area of Parkland Drive in Rockville. The suspect is also accused of sending sexually explicit photos to the child, who's younger than 13. He's being held in jail without bond. Anyone who may have been a victim can contact the Special Victims Investigations Division. We have that number on our website, dcnewsnow.com.
And also in Montgomery County, reality star Karen Huger is heading to prison. She's expected to serve a 1-year prison sentence after she was convicted of driving under the influence months ago. DC News Now's Kevon Dupree was in the courtroom as Huger was sentenced in the circuit court today.
2 months after Karen Huger was convicted on DUI and other charges, she was here in court. 2 hours after the hearing started, the judge handed down the sentence.
Nearly a year after Karen Huger wrecked her car in a DUI crash, the Real Housewives of Potomac star found that prison time was part of her sentence. It was March 2024 that Montgomery County police say she hit a sign in her Maserati before crashing into a tree. Wednesday, Huger's lawyer said that she is a good person and a committed mother. The lawyer told the judge that despite the fact that the reality star lives her life in front of cameras, people don't know what's taking place behind the scenes. The lawyer explained since the crash, Huger wrote apology and thank you letters to the 3 officers who responded to the scene. He said Huger has undergone hundreds of hours of group counseling and individual counseling. Huger's husband, Ray, testified on her behalf. The prosecution acknowledged that Huger has undergone treatment, but pointed out she only started after her guilty verdict in December. It noted that Huger had 3 previous DUIs in the past 17 years, a pattern that required a stiffer penalty. Huger apologized for her actions before the judge spoke, saying that Huger was, quote, filled to the gills with alcohol on the night of the crash. In addition to serving a year in prison, Huger will serve 5 years probation and won't be allowed to drive for a year after her release. Many of Huger's fans were in the courtroom.
Coming from a non-biased standpoint, it was actually more than fair.
It is still very sad seeing her husband and some of her family members in there. You know, when she went back in, it's hard, but she's going to be accountable for it. That's the key. That's what they were saying.
As someone that has children, and you know, drunk driving is a very serious, dangerous crime, I'm honestly happy that she got jail time.
Huger's sentence begins immediately. She also has to pay $2,900 in fines, and she has 30 days to appeal the judge's decision. Reporting in Rockville, I'm Kevon Dupree, DC News Now.